All right, we're going to start our focus on Invest 93, not a name system, trying to get better organized. You can definitely see that on our infrared satellite, especially as some of the higher clouds from earlier storms clear away. The low-level clouds are clearly trying to show signs of that closed-off circulation, though it doesn't look like winds are anywhere supportive of a depression. Also, we can look a little bit closer in at radar, and you definitely have that broad motion. Again, whether or not it's completely closed off yet to be determined, but it is just off of the Florida beaches and will be moving westward through the night. Now, as far as the winds go right now, the nearest buoy that we can find to the center of the Invest, only 16 miles an hour, and our computer is analyzing maybe some gustier winds well removed off to the east, so it's still not organized yet. As I'd mentioned, what's going to be a big factor with regards to our forecast is exactly where does it emerge into the Gulf, maybe late tomorrow or early Wednesday. Farther north, better, shorter amount of time over water. Farther south, not as good, more time to gain some strength. So that's going to be really the big question going forward. As of right now, this still looks to be more of a big rainmaker for us and much of the north and eastern Gulf Coast. As far as our totals go, 2 to 5+ inches with some localized higher amounts. So at the moment, we're looking at more of a flooding risk that starts on Wednesday. It comes a little bit more widespread Thursday and continues on into Friday, maybe even with some leftover rain into the weekend, depending upon exactly where this system eventually gets drawn northward, may still be pulling in some Gulf moisture. The thinking with regards to just moving due west is because of the upper pattern. Big upper low here, one that is going to start taking shape just to the south of the Invest, or possibly depression eventually, and a big upper high to the north. Basically, this system is kind of squeezed in between the upper low and the upper high, just moving it to the west. Now, eventually, it will try and gain a little bit of strength over those warm Gulf waters, but hopefully that amount of time is limited, because what looks to happen is the upper high starts to weaken, this upper low starts moving north, and eventually starts turning the system, whether or not it's just a big rainmaker or depression, northward. Once inland, may still be in a position to draw moisture north, which is why our rain chances are going to be coming up. This is what the Euro is thinking, eventually moving inland, again a little farther north, and then once the system, or what is left of that center, does move into the Gulf, that is where we try to get some organization. But by Thursday, per the Euro, it's already pushing inland, so any kind of organization is then cut off. A lot of rainfall with it though, and that's basically what the thinking is right now. It's going to be a big rainmaker. Now, this has not changed from our earlier run of our precision cast model, moving inland, maybe south of Jacksonville, and then eventually emerging out into the Gulf waters. You don't really see any broad or closed-in circulation. You see more or less kind of a broad surface level trough as we approach Wednesday night and Thursday. Thursday is when it finally starts to get a little bit more organization. And again, this model actually stops at Thursday, 1 o'clock, and there's the center of our little feature. Again, maybe a little bit more organization if it's able to stay offshore for a longer period of time. So right now what we're looking at is more of a heavy rain potential with kind of secondary possible tropical development. Meaning if it becomes a depression or a storm, then we would have more of a wind and coastal flood event. If it's just a big messy rainmaker, we could see some flooding potential. And that will be our concern through about Friday, but depending upon exactly where it is once it starts moving inland, could continue on into the weekend. The heat is back though, starting early next week.